Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this week's video is my September reading wrap up. I think I read 11 books this month, so let's jump on in. So the first three books I'm going to talk about are my favorite books ever. So I reread the first three books in the Harry Potter series, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. So when I first read these books, I rated all of them just a 3-star, which I know, shocking, seeing as how much I talk about this book or this series. But these first three books is a lot of like world building, character building. They're like the smallest of the books, and trust me, as I keep rereading them, you'll see my thoughts change. But for nostalgia purposes, I rated these all 5 stars. So good. Love being back in the world. If you don't know what Harry Potter is about, you're essentially following Harry, who is 11 years old, and he learns that he is a wizard and that he essentially has to protect the world from Voldemort. As an 11-year-old, it's like he's the chosen one and the only one that can destroy Voldemort. It's a lot of pressure to put on a kid, if you ask me, but he handles it well with his besties Ron and Hermione. So you're literally just following these 3 kids and their friends and their teachers and their, families. And the found family in this series is like unmatched. But again, 3 stars when I originally read them, solely for the purpose that obviously you're just getting into the series and there's not a lot of meat in these ones. You're learning about a lot. But my favorites come up in the next couple months, you'll see. But for nostalgia purposes, these all got a 5-star because I love them. I love being back in the world. It's going to be definitely a comfort series, and you'll probably be seeing these in rereads that next year as well. So really great. And then the next book I read is The Last Word by Taylor Adams. So I gave this book a 3-star. So in this book, you're following our main character. I think her name is Emma. Yes. You're following our main character, Emma, and she is house sitting at this very remote house. It's a summer town, but it is literally like the middle of winter, stormy season, so it is dead there. There's like no one there, no one around. And so she's house sitting, and you're learning about Emma's past, like why she's house sitting by herself. And kind of how she's handling things in her own life. But she's there, she's got her trusty Kindle, and she is reading a bunch of books, because what else do you do when you're in the house by yourself? So she is reading this book, and she ends up giving it a 1-star review on Amazon, and like says how much she does not like the book. And then she ends up getting into it with the author of the book on Amazon. And then all these weird things start happening in the house that she's staying in this very creepy like house that she's staying in that has like a wall full of windows, and she thinks that it is the author of the book that she 1-star reviewed. So you're going through it. It's like a mystery thriller. I really enjoyed the first half of this book like a lot, but the second half was mediocre. I didn't really enjoy it. I kind of called what was going to happen, and so it was okay. A lot of people do really like this book. If you like mystery thrillers, then I would definitely suggest checking it out. Again, a 3-star isn't bad. I really liked the journey overall. It's a really short read, very quick read. Again, I just didn't really enjoy the second half as much as I enjoyed the first half, but still overall a pretty good book. Next up, we have Ranger's Apprentice. This is Ruins of Gorlon by John Flanagan. This is the first book, I think 12 books. In this book, you are following Will, who ends up becoming the Ranger's Apprentice. I think he's younger, like 12, 13, something like that. And he is what's considered a ward, which is like an orphan in this world, and he is being looked after by the Baron, who kind of looks after a bunch of, some of these kids, and there's like a whole year that are like this considered the same year as him that he is like friends with, and you get that found family aspect from those, kids. But in this book, you're literally just following Will and his journey on learning about the Rangers, and overall, I gave this book 3.75. I liked There was a lot of funny parts. I liked the banter and the communication between the wards and, you know, his friends. And then I also enjoyed the Baron. Like, he's really funny, and he and no one thinks he's trying to be funny because he's the Baron. So like, no one laughs at his jokes, and then he gets upset that no one laughs at his jokes, and even though they are really funny. So I did really enjoy like the communication aspect. I enjoyed Will's apprentice, Halt. He is also just a very interesting character, and the journey that they're kind of going on, you learn about the kind of conflict in the, I think it's in the middle of this book that they're kind of working towards, and it was interesting. I did enjoy it. I liked learning about it, and I enjoyed Will's character development throughout this book. This is literally the first book, and it's a very short book in a 12-part series, so there honestly is not too much that happens. You're literally just like dipping your toes into the world. Again, I rated it a 3.75 stars. I did enjoy it. It wasn't a bad book at all. Like I said, I enjoyed my time, but I definitely am going to be continuing the series at some point. Right, and then we have Magnolia Parks by Miss Jessa Hastings. I gave this a 3.5 stars. You're literally following the main character of Magnolia Parks. This is Gossip Girl in London. I mean, that's literally exactly what this is. And Magnolia and BJ are Chuck and Blair. Like, that's just, it is what it is. And I did not like the first, I want to say like 150 pages of this book. It was boring. I thought it was stupid. Did not like it. Then I started to like it when this plot point happened, and I lived for the drama from that point on. So that's why I got the 0.5, because I absolutely adored the second half of this book, and I'm going to be continuing the series. But again, this one just got a 3.5 from me. There's really no other way to describe it other than, like I already said, Gossip Girl, Chuck and Blair. It's, you're following Magnolia, her very toxic relationship. It's literally, you're reading this for the drama, and I'm here for it. Like, there's no other way to talk about this book. So there's that. Then I also read Renegades by Miss Marissa Meyer. I rated this book a 4-star. I really loved this book. In this book, you're following Adrian and Nova, and Adrian is a renegade, Nova is an anarchist, and they are on complete opposite sides of kind of how superhero powers should be used, even though in the back of their mind, like, they totally agree on it. But because they're separated by that distinction of renegade and anarchist, you know, superhero and supervillain, they kind of have a hard time seeing that. But you kind of go through the story. There's this really interesting plot point about how Adrian and Nova actually end up meeting and working together. And so that part, honestly, as soon as that part happened, I legitimately was so excited to just keep reading this book. So then Nova is kind of seeing how the renegades work, kind of working through some feelings that she's had since she was younger, because she's been dealing with why she hates the renegades so much, and why she can't stand the renegades, and why she wants to take down the renegades. And she's been raised on that for a valid reason of things that happened to her when she was a child. But it was very interesting to just follow Nova and Adrian together. It is dual POV, and I absolutely fell in love with both of these characters. I couldn't think of a single flaw with either of these characters. I cannot wait to continue the series. I am very excited to see where the next book goes, and I loved all of the side characters that we met. Again, found family aspect, and I am so excited to pick up the second one. Then we have Vengeful by V.E. Schwab. This is the second book in the villain's duology, and I rated this book a 4 stars. This duology is what kicked off my wanting to read about superheroes, which is why I picked up Renegades. But in this, it's the second book, so I can't really talk too much about it, but you're following Eli and Victor from the first book and their adventures on the Extraordinaries, which are like considered the superheroes of the story, and you're, you know, dealing with the repercussions from the end of the first book. I didn't like this one as much as the first book, but I think it was because the first book, I've never read anything like it before, and I just got genuinely so enthralled by the world itself and learning about the characters and the lore. I think that the first book was just amazing in my mind. But this book was definitely still really good. I loved being back with the characters and being back in the world, and I really, really enjoyed it. And V.E. Schwab's writing is amazing. I cannot wait to read more books by her. I'm very, very excited to kind of read her backlist and read her continuing books as well. So again, rated this a 4 stars. I also picked up the first book in the Hunger Games trilogy by Miss Suzanne Collins. I rated this a 3.75. I genuinely had such a good time. This is a YA dystopian. I'm pretty sure everyone knows what the Hunger Games is. You are following Katniss and Peeta as they are the tributes for the Hunger Games. Hunger Games is, there are 12 districts, and each district has this like fishbowl that they pull names out of, and you get one boy, one girl, and they're considered tributes, and they are then sent to the capital. And so there's 24 people that go to the capital that are essentially fighting for their lives. They get dropped in this like neutral zone, where you literally have to fight for your life. And so in this one, you're following Katniss and Peeta, and it was really, really good. I have only seen the movies, but I haven't seen the movies in a really long time, so I wasn't really sure what to expect, and I genuinely don't remember anything about the first movie, honestly, and this was really, really good. I liked Peeta and Katniss's relationship. I really enjoyed just learning about the dystopian world itself, and I am definitely going to be continuing the series for sure. And again, I gave it a 3.75. I loved Katniss. She's a great main character. I like being inside her head, and I just think that it was really well written. It was really fast paced, and I wasn't really bored at any points in the story. Again, I really liked all the side characters, even like the characters I think you're not supposed to like, I really enjoyed. And I just like that Katniss is a badass and she stands up for what she wants. And I do love that about her. But yeah, definitely liked it. And again, we'll be continuing the series. Finally, probably my favorite book of the month besides Harry Potter. Let's not get carried away. But I picked up Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score. This is the third book in the Knock 'Em Out trilogy. And you guys, 5 stars, but 6 stars. Like, genuinely. This was so good. In this book, you are following Lucian and Sloane, and it is... I'm just getting so happy talking about it because it's so good. So in the Knock 'Em Out series, what you're following is, it's a small town romance. The first book you follow Knox and Naomi, the second book Nash and Lena, and then the third book you're following Lucian and Sloane. So Lucian and Sloane, their hatred and animosity of each other was dropped in the first book, and ever since then I was eating the crumbs of their relationship. And so for us to have an almost 600-page book about it, I was very excited. So I ate this book up from the second that I picked it up. Lucian and Sloane are everything. And you also get flashbacks to when they were kids, because they have grown up in this town together. They knew each other from when they were younger. And you're learning about where this animosity from each other comes from, because you can like tell that they have like that vibe, you know, their friends all are kind of like, okay, like what's going on here? But like to them, like they hate each other. They literally can't be in the same room as each other. But like Lucian is always like obviously doing these like things for her that she's like, how do you know that? Like, how do you know that's my favorite this? And so you get the flashbacks from their childhood, you get the current timeline of their romance and their journey, and then there's also this mystery subplot that's kind of going on throughout the entirety of the Knock 'Em Out series, and so you're kind of learning more about that as well, which I love. That is honestly one of my favorite things about this series, is that it's not just romance. Like, there's that mystery subplot, there's all these other cast of characters that you're just like learning about, and you get Knox and Naomi, you know, in this book. You get Nash and Lena. You get like you are just getting all of the characters, and it is so good. I loved it. I love the banter between the two characters. I love the romance between the two characters. I just love how they acted with each other, like developing, like, and they're realizing their feelings for each other. Just how they still have that like banter back and forth, which is like one of my favorite things and so I absolutely adored that. And again, I just love seeing all the characters, and if I could rate this book 6 stars, I would. It was genuinely just one of my favorite books, and it's probably gonna be one of my favorite books of the year. I will 100% be rereading this. But this was just so good. And again, that subplot, and Lucian is a very complex character, and you're getting Sloane, who's a librarian, and her like bookish tendencies, and she's just a no nonsense girl, and she knows what she wants, and just I ate it up. It was so good. All right, guys, so that is all the books that I read in September, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know down below if any of you have read any of these books, or if you're going to be reading any of these books, or just let me know what you're currently reading now. Honestly, I'm interested to hear it all. So please like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys all in the next video.